Alrighty, we are live, good to go, and it is March 2nd, up 479 today, and another day of just being really patient. Man, March is off to a great start. Already up over $1,000 in March, which is really awesome. I am very pleased with what I was able to do with the title of today's video. Which is called Rocketing to All-Time Highs, but of course I'm using the ticker for Rocket Mortgage, which had a absolutely berserk day today. Crazy day. Another day where I thought that really the market wasn't doing too much, and I really didn't expect there to be, well, you never know whether there are going to be opportunities or there aren't going to be, but within the first hour of trading or so, which usually the most activity happens then, I was already pretty discouraged that today wasn't really going to look like anything much of a great day, but also, you know, just not a day to really be trading. I did trade GameStop again today. I guess we should look at that first, because I always like to go chronologically and kind of tell the story of how each day went. Again, I talk about GameStop almost every single day now because I trade it almost every single day, and I wouldn't be trading it if it didn't have opportunities to squeeze. Yesterday it did have a squeeze that I got a really nice trade on in the afternoon, and so today kind of at the open, it's quick recovery from its dip and kind of holding above VWAP. If it's above VWAP, it has the ability to squeeze. I don't care what anybody says. This thing can rip, it can go, and if it's gonna go, I want my money in it, and I want to be in the trade if it's gonna start ripping, bottom line. So if this is holding above VWAP, I'm still interested in it, and I had some good trades on it, in particular the 50 share long right here as it was coming up through VWAP, making a higher low here, and then showing some strength, and then a nice setup here, waiting for this breakout and taking profit up here. An unfortunate exit here, I will admit. We did get some follow through up here to 132. I got my last shares out here at 130.50. Excuse me, I got my last shares out over here as it was crashing through VWAP down here. But a good trade there, and still 124.83. Still, you know, still over $3 in the money from my original entry point. So that was a great trade. This was the main money maker for me today on GameStop, and you know, it didn't really end up totally exploding like I really wanted it to. This was gonna be the spot where it was gonna look to make a new high and hold that, but as it was crashing down here, I definitely lost some confidence in its ability to continue. So I want to talk about Rocket today because I traded GameStop, and then I kind of took a step back and was like, well, and I saw Rocket early on in the day. I noticed it was gapping up and people were trading it and talking about it in here, and I looked at it and I was kind of like, well, it's already gapped up, you know, a lot. The move, to me, I look late to the party and I don't see a great setup on it, so I didn't really like it. And so I kind of took a break from the market, and I actually took a nap. And when I came back and I woke up from my nap, I said, well, I'm up 250 on the day from GameStop, and you know, I always do kind of monitoring the market. And I came back in the afternoon and said, hey, let's see what's moving. And I think I started watching it right about in here. Yeah, I would say somewhere in here I started watching it, and I said, well, wow, this is pretty crazy. Obviously, if you look at the volume, it's really just absurd. You look at the volume, it was already gapping up today and already had high relative volume. And just here at about 12:45 and on, you can see the volume is just night and day, and this is clearly what everybody is looking at in trading. And it is pretty rare that you see something like this happen. I mean, the volume was already good here, I would say, but you can very clearly see almost overnight, I would say, is the that's not a good way to put it. Anyway, it's just more of just an all of the sudden surprise that this volume starts to come in. There is a catalyst on this, but this is a short squeeze. If you look at RKT, its short float shows up at about 38%. I'm not sure how accurate that is. You can never really be too sure. But nonetheless, some notable short interest. So when I noticed that, it was definitely something that I was looking at. But when I started looking at it here, I said to myself, there's no way I can buy it. I mean, it's just so extended. Not only is it gapping up on the day and up on the day after that in RTH session, now it's $7, $8 higher than where I already didn't necessarily like it. I would say that the setup here is good, and if you were watching it here and you see this volume start to come in, this is kind of your hint, and I would say the setup here is decent, but really it's news driven, it's catalyst driven. You had someone on CNBC talking about it. Anyway, so I started watching it somewhere around in here, and I noticed it was just going up and up and up and up and up, and I was kind of shaking my head like, yeah, okay, I feel the FOMO, but part of being disciplined and part of being a good trader isn't letting FOMO and the fear of missing out get into you and give you a bad entry, because that's what it most often does, is give you a terrible entry where you're buying near the top and then you get really screwed, and then you're upset at yourself for taking the trade, and then you're emotionally damaged. Anyway, etc., etc. It's just a bad thing to do. All right, so immediately on this, I said to myself, well, it seems to be that every single dip is being bought up. I don't have good experience trading RKT. I don't have good experience in how this one behaves and how it moves. So understanding that, I kind of took 10-20 minutes watching it go up and watching the price action and monitoring kind of how it's moving and how it's behaving, and I thought what really stood out to me was its ability to start a candle red and then flip it green. It had tremendous strength, kind of flipping candles, which is it's like something like this, for example, which would come all the way down, almost engulf the entire green candle, and then flip green. And it seemed to be doing that a lot, and that was something that I noticed in here too afterwards. But my first trade on this, I will admit, was not a good entry, although the halt going down here at 210 really took me by surprise. I was not expecting that. Rocket Mortgage is a mid to large cap name. Well, not a large cap. It's a mid cap name, and you typically see a wide range of where the halt levels are going to be. I didn't expect this one to halt so soon to the downside, but it did. Anyway, my first entry here was 300 shares, so aggressive size, too aggressive, I can say now for sure. And this trade put me red on the day, actually, as I entered here at 39.36 near the bottom of this red candle. I thought it was a good dip, but as I saw shortly, and I did have the opportunity to take them all out at 39.50, and as I sensed the weakness, I threw that order out on the ask and only got 2 shares out, so left with 298. And as it came down here, I was very surprised to see it halt going down. Yeah, I'll be watching it tomorrow for sure. Yeah, Hyper Viper, yeah, no, for sure. Anyway, as this was halting going down, I was very surprised, and I was holding 300 shares into a halt going down on a stock that's up, that was up, I don't know, 70% on the day at this point or something. Yeah, I was nervous. I said, well, going into this halt going down, I was down $130 on the stock, and then on the day that put me, I don't know, I was up 250 on GameStop, so up about 120 on the day in this halt going down. I said to myself, well, this could get ugly. This could open, who knows how low this could open. But I had some confidence that if it opens anywhere close to opening flat from the halt price, I liked my chances of getting a pop back up, and I knew that my break-even point was not far above that halt level, so I thought that maybe there was a chance that I would be able to get out. And as I saw it open lower, not too far lower, but lower for sure, it tried a few times to come back up here, and the halt price acted as resistance here. I tried to get out near the high of this candle, but as I saw it fade down and then come up again and try, and then fade down a second time, when it started to come up a third time, I said I'm out. I got out at 38.37 for almost $1 per share on 300 shares. So I took about a $300 loss on that trade. It would come up again here all the way to 38.93. I could have gotten out on these shares a lot a lot better, but I think I did a good job just getting out and saying I'm going to cut the loss, because as much as it tries to come up and test this halt price that many times, I feel it can have the ability to just flush down, and that's exactly what it did. So I'm glad that I got out before the failure after these tests of that level. So as it came down here, I'm down $300 on the stock. I said, well, you know, I should probably walk away. I'm down like $50 on the day, which isn't so bad. I made quite a bit yesterday, but if you guys know the context of where I'm at kind of in my trading career, I always say trading career. I don't really like that term because I don't really, you know, I'm 21. I'm not really saying this is my career, but if you understand the context of where I'm at right now, I want to show you guys that coming into today, I was less than $300 away from coming back to all-time highs in my P&L. This is just my day trades, just my day trading P&L. I only import trades of my day trades. I have other positions. None of that is reflected in here, only day trades. So this is all that I've made from day trades, and I'm very close to coming to all-time highs, eliminating the drawdown from all the way of last year in December. So I'm very much anticipating that, and I actually ended up doing that today. But that was that's some emotional context that was in the back of my mind. So you know, having been up 250 on the day, within an earshot of kind of eliminating that drawdown finally once and for all. Well, maybe not once and for all, but actually, yeah, it is once and for all, because it will eliminate the drawdown. Any drawdown after that will be technically a new drawdown. But anyway, okay, that's besides the point. It was annoying for me to have a $300 loser on this trade, but I said I'm gonna continue to watch this and be careful, and I want to wait for good setups. I did take one more dip trade on this. I would say, let's see. Okay, so in 200 shares at 35.82. So a pretty good entry there at the bottom of this red candle. And then I actually got out of them on the same candle. I could have gotten a lot more out of that 36.78. There were a lot of times on this one where I could have gotten more. And a lot of times where I didn't get the right entry. And if you don't get the right entry, it makes it so much harder to stay in a trade. Because what happens is when the stock goes down against you and you didn't get the right entry, then you're in the red, and then the second that you see it start to pick up in your favor and you see that you're now green on the position, you're more likely to just say, I want out, I'm taking my money, and then you'll see it just continues. So that's what happened on this one a few times for me. So here, this was a good entry. I think I was afraid from this trade, honestly, and trying these dips, but taking profits quickly, that's what I do on dips. So I made a little bit back here. And then in here again, 35.74 toward the bottom of this red candle, and then it came all the way down here, touching $35, testing $35. I had these Fibonacci retracement lines here, which I think are very helpful, and I think a lot of traders use them and are looking at them in a situation like this where it's selling off so aggressively. This is exactly where you'd want to be using those retracement lines. You guys probably notice I don't use them often, but this is probably the perfect spot to be using them. And you can see I set the beginning of the move to right here before that volume started coming in, and you see how the candle closes above, and this is exactly what I was looking for. I said, well, let's let it come down, but I want this candle to close above this line, and exactly it did that, which is exactly what I was looking for. And I'm just this next candle, which I wanted that continuation higher, which you can see we got that, but what you guys don't understand is that this candle spent a little bit of time here, and I got chopped out, and I got scared, and I took my profit way too early. I would say this is probably one of the biggest mistakes, one of the worst entries of the day for sure, because this is a very bullish looking candle. The sell-off is aggressive. It's needing a pullback to the upside. Everything is good. The Fibo line is acting as support here. And the more reasons you have for a stock to move in a certain direction, the more likely I would say it is to move in that direction. So yeah, a mistake certainly to not hold on to this one, but alas, I did not hold on to it. I got out at 35.95 before this move even really took off. You can see it came all the way up to 37.26 before it even started to pull back at all. So, oh well, disappointing. But I watched it, continued to watch it, and as it came down here, I thought, well, this looks like a good entry here. I'm not going to take it though because it is testing this for the second time. If it wants to continue to sell off, it would go lower, but this would be a spot to throw some shares in there and just set your stop below this level, so you have a very tight stop, not a lot of risk, and a lot of reward you would have captured on that one. But oh well. I did not do that, and I watched this pullback come in here, a quick dip on this, and it looks like I cut this actually for a loss as it came down here, but then I came right back in here at 36.84 for 200 shares, and this one, this is where I kind of started to flip to green on Rocket. I'm not sure exactly when I flipped green on it, but with this loss here, I think I was back down to, gosh, I don't know. I was probably down 200 on it, or maybe 300 on it as I was before. I'm not really sure. I know I was red on it after this trade. And then entering for 200 right here immediately after, as I'm looking to get that lower high in here, or sorry, high or low, excuse me. I want this higher low here, and we did get that, and then taking off, making that higher high, and that is really kind of establishing that we're in an uptrend. So the stock is working in my favor. So I took 100 off pretty quickly here, pretty aggressively at 37.59. I suppose that is another kind of example of a bad exit where when you're down on a stock, you're more willing to take profits quickly. Anyway, this one I was scared of because it was moving very significantly. Also, in the back of mind, I'm thinking like it retraced all the way. 50% of the move was retracement. So if you had asked me anywhere in here, are we going to see this back at 42 bucks? I actually would have wagered you on that and said no pretty strongly on that. I would have said no way. We're not going to see this at $42 again. It halted going down. The move is over, and now we're just trying to catch a temporary bounce. But this one proved me wrong. As it keeps coming higher here, this started to look like the real deal. Pull back here, not taking anything off, not getting chopped out, and recognizing it's in an uptrend, it's working in my favor, taking more profit up here at these highs, and then as it came down here, getting a little nervous as this is looking like it's coming down a little more strongly here. I don't like how this is becoming not a lower low, but you would like to see it hold up a little bit better. But no problem with this at all, really. As you can see, these wicks, very obvious double bottom here, and then continuing higher off of that, and getting out of my last 25 shares in front of this resistance of this fib line, but that line didn't really come into play too much, and it did actually rip quite a bit higher. And I missed a lot of this move because I took profits too early, and so if you take profits too early, then you're not left with shares toward the end of the move, and that's just what's going to happen. So at that point, I think I was up on the stock. Oh god, no, actually I think I was still red on it. I was actually still red on it after that trade. I was red on it $20, so I recovered a $300 loss into a $20 loss. And that point on the day, I was sitting up around $240 on the day. So I was like, okay, great. I was down 300 on it, and now I'm kind of break even on it again. And so that's great. And I think I traded a good setup here, and I think I did well trading it in general. Not some, for the most part, I did well. There were some bad exits and bad entries in here, a little choppy, but overall I did well. As I saw this here setting up and plateauing like this, oh, it was so hard to resist. I said, Austin, you should lower your share size on this one, and just probably shouldn't even take the trade because you were down 300. Now you're break even. It's probably a good time to walk away. But as I saw this setting up, this kind of flat top forming. I mean, this is just so bullish looking, and just such a, I mean, if you see this as a day trader, it's a no-brainer setup, and so of course I did enter this, and I got a great entry on it too, 40.70, you can see near the low of this candle, which is really great, and a few minutes later we got that breakout, and I just I could set a very, very, very tight stop on this below. I think I set my stop at 40.49. Yeah, below 40.50, which is the low of this candle. You just set your stop there, and I mean, look at this breakout. I am a little bit I got a little unlucky because well, I got extremely unlucky actually. As this candle was kind of had just opened and it was kind of knocking back and forth right here, I told myself, you're in for 200 shares. What you're supposed to do is start lowering your share size, and I got a little scared on it. I said, what if it's a false breakout and it flushes? And I don't know, you can come up for a million reasons why not to be in a trade. But and so I cut 100 shares. If I hover over this, you can see I got out 100 shares at 40.96. So that's right here before we even got the breakout. Right here, I got out of half of the position, and I kid you not, 3-4 seconds later, boom, an instant surge in volume, huge breakout, which is what I was looking for. And I went, dang it, of course I would get out of half the position. And if I had held the other half, it would have been a much bigger trade. And as this came up here, I said, all right, I'm grabbing my profit. Now I'm green on the stock. And at that point, I was up on it about $128, if I could remember correctly, after this trade. And then I stepped back again and I said, I'm up on it. I just went from down 300 to break even to up $130. That's really, really, really awesome. Really great. You love to see that. And yeah, so it looked like I was going to be red on the day by a smidge, and now I'm up nicely. And a few minutes later, we got this halt going down, and I was kind of like, oh, well, I'm glad I'm not in it. But I walked away. I stopped watching it for a few minutes. And when I came back and I saw this, I went, wow. You know, I'd like to think if I saw it open here coming out of the halt and dipping off, or sorry, it opened here, it's very low actually, and I don't know. I'm not sure I would have bought it on the resumption because I think it's risky buying and off the resumption of a halt going down. Certainly, there's risk. But you know, anyone who did buy it, good for you. There was a lot there on that move, all the way back up to 42.50. Wow. And yeah, so those were pretty much the trades that I had on it. I did have a nice trade here. I bought the dip here at 41.40. Actually, what's the low of this candle? 41.31. So I bought 9 cents off the low and caught this this break back to the upside, and got I got over $1 on 100 shares there. So that's over $100. So I got over $100 on that trade. That put me up $2.30 on the stock, and yeah. I couldn't be happier, couldn't be more grateful for how this turned out, because I was down 300 on it, and now I'm up 231. That doesn't happen very often. More often than not, you go down on a stock, you either stop trading it or you revenge trade it and you go down even further. It's a good day when you can eliminate a decent loss on a stock and flip it green, and it's a great feeling, and that puts me up $480 on the day, which is going to be a new all-time high in my day trading journey. So yeah, that's awesome. I will mention a trade in here that I took buying this dip a little bit prematurely, and this is what I mean when you don't have a good entry on it, and it dips even further. I was red on this trade for like 70 or 80 bucks down here. And then as it came back up, I was like, I'm setting my order to sell at break even, because if this comes up to my break even, to the price that I entered it, I just want to get out, and I'll be happy that I didn't, you know, lose money. I'm just done for the day. Why am I even trading it right now? And so that was my mindset. I got out of it, and it continued, you know, over $1 higher. And I could have added another $120 to this and made it a $350 gain, but oh well. I'm happy that I didn't lose on the trade, so whatever. All right, guys. So that is pretty much it. Trading GameStop and Rocket, and Rocket first noticed from chat room or scanner. Scanner, I have these, you can see it's right here in my gap up. and I look at these every day, and I knew, like I said, I knew it was gapping up before the volume started to come in the afternoon. I saw it in here. I just didn't see an opportunity on it. I didn't really like it. I thought it was already extended from this move, and it showed up on my gap up scanner. I mean, I watched it off the open. I knew I knew about it all day, that it was a stock that was moving today. But when I came back and kind of scrolled through all these in the afternoon, and I saw that it was really moving, I was like, wow, okay, everyone's watching this. The volume is absolutely crazy right now. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. This is a short squeeze, plain and simple. The shorts are coming out of it, and that's really where this volume is coming from. And anyway, yeah, it had this crazy push all the way up to 45.50 too in the first minute of after hours. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, that is it. Did I already say this? I'm starting my live streams at 5:40 Eastern Time p.m. every single day starting now. Unless I put in the Discord that I'm starting it at a different time, or I'm not doing a recap today for whatever reason, these recaps will be at the same time every single day at 5:40 p.m. so you guys know where to be at that time. It's right here for the recap. And I hope that if everyone knows that it's at that time, we'll get more people in here, and it'll be more fun because we can have more people asking questions and talking about how their day went and whatever. And yeah, that's kind of my hope. And yeah, so I look forward to that, and thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I will be back at it tomorrow. And you know, today looked great. Yesterday looked great. The day before that was great. I just want to keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Right now, I have to say, I think the key to my success is just waiting for my spots, right? 3 days in a row now where I came into the market thinking, I don't see anything good that looks good for me. I don't see anything setting up. I don't like anything here. And then at the end of the day, I'm up $400 to $600. How did that happen? It's because I was patient and I waited for setups that I liked. So that is the key for me, I think, right now. And not feeling FOMO. I did feel a little bit of that, right? You know, in this one, I will admit, but I did end up trading it in the afternoon, and I mean, this is incredible. A 50% retracement, and then all the way back up and making new highs. That is just woo-wee, crazy market that we're in. And anyway, all right, guys, I thank you for watching. 5:40 p.m. Eastern Time every single day. It's happening. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.